Okay, we're live. So start whenever you're ready.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Wing Doc.
God damn it. Are you serious? Well, I guess that since you've been off for a month, you'd get it wrong.
Okay, Grindline Podcast. All right, here we go. What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Grindline Podcast. This is Tyler here alongside Greg and Ryan. How you boys doing tonight?
I'm fantastic because Greg pissed in some Wheaties and it's fun to watch right now.
Ooh, I've made many a Montreal fan angry tonight. They're still mad about not getting Zadina, and they're so mad that they have somehow tricked themselves into thinking that Kotkaniemi is going to be their amazing all-star savior of a center.
He'll probably be good. I don't think he'll be the savior per se.
No, they said
one player
he's
is never
elite.
the savior.
That's what they say. Yeah. He is elite. He's already shown it in preseason, because I guess preseason's like the best measure of someone's talent.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and Marc Bergevin, can't forget.
Yeah, but apparently Marc Bergevin will be winning General Manager of the Year.
Forever. Because he makes all the trades.
Yeah, even if they're bad.
All the best trades in the world. All the best trades in the world. So anyways, guys, we're getting very close to hockey season. The NHL kicks off the season tomorrow night. I believe there's 4 games. I think it starts with Washington and Boston. That game's on NBC. And then San Jose and LA. Is that what it is tomorrow night? And then also there's a West game, and also Toronto and Montreal also play. So 4 games in the NHL tomorrow. The Red Wings pretty much have gotten down to the 22-man roster that they need. We're going to talk about that. Greg, I'm going to kick it off to you.
Yeah, before we start, Tyler, lean forward a little bit because the microphone on your headset is rubbing on your jacket. And I can hear it every time it rubs on your jacket.
Okay. Can you cut that out?
No, but I can cut you from doing it again. It's not terribly loud. It's just a little annoying.
No, okay. I can hear it on my side as well.
Yeah. All right. So tonight what we're going to start with is the thing that I don't think anyone was really shocked that happened. We all kind of knew it was going to happen, but it's still a little... What the fuck are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
I just heard a huge sliding. It went like that.
Your mic is picking up whatever you're doing. I'm like moving around and whatnot.
Yeah. Just stop moving. Don't move the whole rest of the time. So tonight we're going to start off talking a little bit about what everyone knew was going to happen and eventually did, and that was our number 1 draft pick, Filip Zadina, was sent to the Grand Rapids Griffins. Now, Zadina did look good in preseason. He started out pretty slow, had a first couple of games that weren't that great. He picked it up, but he still looks like he could use some speed and a little bit more awareness. When he did get the puck, I think he may have been trying a little too hard to make things happen, but Zadina will start the year with the Griffins. I don't think he will play more than 15 games before being called up. But Blash has said that he wants him to, when he is called up, to be there full time and not bouncing back and forth between the 2 teams. Ryan, what do you think about the Zadina decision?
For once, I'm not mad about a stud prospect getting sent back down. I know that it's a time of rebuild and there's a lot of things wrong with how the roster currently is. But to go back to our prior conversations, we've got 2 years of shit, and then we can finally fix the ship, hopefully. I agree definitely with what you mentioned about how he looked early on in the preseason. What I liked the most about it, though, is that he took the coach's criticism and his own criticism and churned out some solid games overall. I don't think he's going to be down in Grand Rapids for that long, which is what has me the most excited. And I hope that for our sake and how Blashill's making the comparisons to other guys like Pasternak getting sent down and then coming in midway through the year, that's kind of what I'm foreseeing, hopefully, with Zadina and what he can possibly provide.
Tyler, what do you got on the Zadina decision?
Yeah, initially I thought I was a little disappointed because I thought, play the kids movement. But, watching a few of those games, it didn't look like he was 100% ready to play in the NHL, and where they have the card where they can send him down to the AHL and bring him up whenever. I think it's sort of I made the comparison to the Gustav Nyquist thing when he was he was lighting it up at the end of the playoffs. And obviously, it's not totally the same, but it's kind of similar. He was lighting it up in the playoffs, and then they came into the next season. This, I believe, was the year that they played Chicago in the second round and lost. But then he didn't make the team the next year. And then I think it was like 14, 15 games into the season, he got called up and never went back down. So, and then he lit it up. So, I mean, I can foresee something like that happening. Like I said, initially I was a little pissed, but I mean, it is what it is. If he's not 100% ready, then why bring him into a situation where he's not going to be comfortable? And, so that's the way I look at it. And then, there's also the element of, let's see how he's going to respond to adversity. This is an adversity thing. Is he going to be able to go down there, check the ego at the door, and, sort of, all right, you know what? I didn't make the team. That was my goal. Now I need to put my best foot forward to make the team, or, to be the first one to be called up.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Tyler,
I look at it.
Lean forward.
Or hold the thing out.
Or hold it forward a little bit or something.
There we go.
Yeah, just so that it's not rubbing on your jacket. Because it sounds like your microphone is in a bag of Doritos or something when it does that.
It sounds like the cord might be catching.
I'm holding it now.
That sounds better. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you can't be pissed. You can't. And this is a thing where people can scream over. Oh, my God. Tyler, come on, man. Okay. You see the wire underneath the microphone?
Yeah. Oh, just
hold that.
There we
go. There you go. Yeah, now your finger's not touching the mic or anything. So, yeah, I agree with you. I can't be too pissed because people are going to scream over-ripening your players. Why is he in Grand Rapids? But the response that I've seen to it, everyone saw what the coaching staff saw, which he shows amazing flashes of brilliance, and he's going to be awesome. He scored – he got, 2 of the 3 overtime goals?
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 overtime goals? He got 2. Yeah. And so he's scoring. He's got a wicked shot. It's like if Furk could actually hit the net, is what Zadina is with his slapper. He can also move around if he's got open ice and wrist it in. And you're not going to over-ripen him, but I think he just needs that confidence up a little bit because a jump from the Q to the NHL is huge. And it's a huge talent difference. So I hope he goes to Grand Rapids, just kills it for 10, 15 games, comes up and just solidifies his spot on the team. And we can get rid of someone like Luke Glendening or Darren Helm and shuffle the lines around a little bit. But, yep, so Zadina's down in Grand Rapids. And what that leaves us with is the final cuts were made today where Joe Hicketts and Philip Hronek, along with Luke Witkowski, were assigned to the Grand Rapids Griffins, which left us with a final roster. I believe they settled with a 22-man roster.
Correct.
Which will change because there are injuries on the defense. They said Cronwall's not starting the season on the Red Wings. Eriksson most likely will not start. He's iffy. And Mike Green's out for at least a month. Mm-hmm. So today the lines were tweeted. So our final roster looks like this. On offense, we have Nyquist, Larkin, Mantha, Abdelkader, Athanasiou, Vanek, Bertuzzi, Nielsen, Rasmussen, Helm, N, and Glendening. I think Christopher N's probably the biggest surprise there. On defense, we have DeKeyser, Cholowski, Eriksson, Jensen, Hicketts, Hronek, Sulak, and Daly. So like I said, Hicketts technically is a waiver for Grand Rapids, but he will most likely play. Same with Hronek because of injuries. So we'll start with Tyler. Tyler, what do you think of the roster as it stands right now?
Yeah, the only surprise to me is N, and then that Abdelkader's on the second line. Other than that, I mean, I really don't have a problem with it. We were kind of talking off air that maybe Nyquist should be on the second line and Bertuzzi should be on the first. But those are just like things that could end up happening in the first period of game one. So you don't really know. And, Rasmussen, I think, will work his way up to the second line, maybe even the first line at some point in time. I'll just be interested to see if they're going to use him at center at all this year.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. Wasn't he he's got some center time going during preseason, didn't he?
Who, Ras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what they'll do with Rasmussen, since it worked, was do the same thing they did with Larkin. You start Larkin on the wing, let him get his confidence up, get used to the play. He's got more room to move around. And then because center is a more defensive position. So let him move around, sit him in front of the net, and let him just tip stuff in. I mean, he played wing for the last part of the Tri-City season too, and did it fantastically. So they might move him in at wing, give him a year at wing, and then transition him to center like they did Larkin, because Athanasiou is surprisingly looking great at center.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing they could have asked for out of all of this with Zetterberg going down, is how well he would transition and take over that type of role. Because if not, it's Darren Helm or Luke Glendening.
Yeah, and I don't like either of those.
Or Frans Nielsen.
Well, yeah, Frans Nielsen, I think, is Frans Nielsen's your third line center, though.
And I'm glad to see that. And that's, we talk about this roster. It's like there's a lot of young guys on this team. We talk about the defense. Hronek or Hicketts might come up and play opening night because of the possible injuries to Kronwall and Eriksson and Mike Green, who's going to be out a month. I mean, like, you see these young kids, you do start to see the youth movement here, which is certainly a good thing.
Yeah, for the people that are complaining, like, when are we going to see the kids? They're just going to play all those old people because of their contracts. Well, half of it's, yes, they have to play the old people because of their contracts. But the other half is, the way it's looking right now, you get Cholowski, you get Hicketts, you get Hronek, you get Rasmussen, and Christopher N. That's 5. You're starting off the season possibly with 5 rookies, which is crazy. I mean, no other team really does anything
that in
like
a long time.
No, I don't. You've never seen that. I don't think you've ever seen. No, even before, I don't think you've ever seen a Red Wings season where they start with 5 rookies. Normally,
the last time they'd done that, I can't.
No, and can you really name another team besides maybe mid 2000s Edmonton, or recently the Leafs that have done that? Like, no other team really does that. So I'm excited. We're going to lose. We're not going to be good. We're a bottom 3 team. But it's going to be exciting. And with the way that you saw those kids play in preseason, they're going to fight for it. They're going to fight for every goal. They're going to fight to come back in games. And even if we lose, it's going to be entertaining.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
It's going to be the product will be much better this year than it was last year, I think. I think there's obviously going to be mistakes, especially with the defensemen. There's going to be a lot of turnovers and stuff like that. But as long as they start cleaning that up and it gets better halfway through the season, that's all you can really ask for. And then, the quote-unquote veterans now, or Larkin, Mantha, Athanasiou, they're getting there anyways. Those guys got to take step forward too, because they're still technically young guys.
Yeah, with the way Athanasiou's looked, I think he is the one that has the most to prove right now. With his not great season last season, he looks like he's coming in hot. I think he's kind of, and he kind of feels, I think, probably more stable since he got his contract.
Yeah,
that hey, I've got a little bit more stability. I've got something to prove. I like playing with these kids that are coming in, and we're the future of the team. Like, we thought, I mean, most of us thought that, hey, he got signed so he could be trade bait. But I think he got signed, and now he feels he's got something to prove. And if he pulls off this season is just spectacular, say he gets 20 goals, 20 assists, say he gets 40 points. I mean, that's great. If he repeats it next season, there's no way he's going to get under a $5-6 million contract as his next contract.
Mm-hmm. The depth center with speed and the ability to play defense when he's actually utilizing that speed. I mean, what blows my mind, and I know he's suspect getting caught staring at the play while he's in the defensive zone, he's still one of the best defensive players on this team. There's a reason he's out there on the penalty kill, and they're utilizing him to what they can on occasion. Not as much as I would like to see him, especially with him and Larkin. If they both go out there, you're putting the power play on their heels, unless it's like a freaking Nashville or somebody. But it's the potential for him to take over and embrace being kind of their big three, quote unquote, if you will, for them. It's exciting to see, and if he continues this and then stays long term with what we have, the Wings have in the system, it's pretty fun.
I think what's crazy about Athanasiou, like, have you ever seen him fly more than he did in that Chicago preseason game a few days ago?
No.
He was flying in that game.
That was like 09 Darren Helm.
Yes, that was like vintage Darren Helm, like before all the concussions and the injuries and everything like that.
Before he got his hands caught in a cement mixer.
Exactly, yes.
Did any of you see that our power play unit look the best that it's looked in like the past 5 years, 6 years? I don't know if it's a Bilesma thing or if it's the fact that it's like it was Zadina and Cholowski and Rasmussen and Larkin and like and Vanek. Like there was no way they weren't scoring on half of those. It was no, and Cholowski, my God, does the kid look good? Like 100 times better than I thought he was going to look.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. And I like the reference going back to the Max Boltman article from The Athletic showing the regimen that he was going through this past offseason here in Metro Detroit. The dude wants it.
Yeah,
and
he does.
Long term, if he keeps that shit up, he's going to be fun.
I will say one thing, and not to brag too much because it was just a preseason game, but I did break my streak of losing in Boston. The Wings finally beat the Bruins in Boston. And not to just because we were talking about Cholowski, he was the best player on the ice. And that's including McAvoy. That's including, I believe, no, Chara didn't play in that game, but that's including Krug. That's including all the Bruins defensemen. He was the best player on the ice. He was quarterbacking the power play. He looked great in that game. Zadina had a pretty good game too, but Cholowski really stood out to me, and so did Sulak. His speed is really good too.
Yeah, I was looking up. There's some interesting stuff I found about Dennis Cholowski in that last season between Portland and whatever other team he was on. For the season, he was like a plus 26. He is an extremely smart defensive player. And when he's on the ice, the other team is not scoring. He was one of the preseason games he was in that game alone, he was a plus 4. Like,
yeah. The one exception being the gaff on Kadri.
Yeah,
that was just a beautiful play, though.
You'll have an outlier, but the thing is Cholowski is an extremely responsible defensive player, which is something we don't have right now.
Exactly.
But as you can see, he can shoot, so he's got an offensive upside.
Pass.
He's freaking seeing eye puck through like 8 people in the top of the net.
Right.
He can pass. He's got a great breakout pass.
Pass was incredible.
Yeah, so I think and if the lines play out the way they're going to play out, I think putting him on the top defensive pairing is a no-brainer. And you wouldn't 2 years ago, you would have never said that. Last year, you would have never said that.
No, hell no.
And everyone likes to call Cholowski the project, but the thing is like he had a bad college season.
Yeah, he was sick the Wings, and stuff like that.
And then the Wings said, "Hey, maybe college isn't the best route for you to go. Maybe you should go to juniors." He went to juniors, did amazing in juniors, and then he comes here for preseason. And he looks like he could move into a top 2 defensive role on our team, which I mean isn't saying a lot because our defense is last in the league, but he looks like he could possibly be our best defenseman.
Have you noticed too, to kind of go along the lines of what the Red Wings brass suggested, how he'd move over to juniors from college and so on and so forth? They made a similar suggestion to get Rasmussen back on track to go get that surgery done on his wrist. Look what happened to him. They sent Velino back down to the AKA the Prodigy to Habs fans, and to send him back to get one more year under his belt, because what's the point in bringing him up this year, wasting a year on his ELC tentatively or 9-game trial, whatever you want to do. It put Zadina down for his X amount of time until he's finally getting ready to jump up. But if you look at how they're playing these things out over the next year or two, they're going to be able to bring these guys in and do all the things we're hooping and hollering about. And this team is going to be 100 times different. That's why I'm so excited about how shitty they're going to be, because it's only going to get better.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Valeno and Zadina are on the team next year, no doubt.
There's no
Zadina's on the team this year.
Yeah, Valeno could have made I think the thing is Valeno could have made the team this year, but they didn't want him to make the team and have low minutes and not be playing as much as he could and not be a leader on the team. Why bring someone up and force them onto a lineup to give them 9-10 minutes a night? That didn't work very well with Athanasiou.
No.
And I think he's going to have a better top end than Athanasiou.
I also think bringing 5 rookies is enough. I think if you were to have Zadina and Valeno, that's 7. That's way too much.
Yeah. Is anyone else also happy that we didn't sign Jokinen?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When I saw that tweet say he was released, I'm like, wow. Either Ken Holland had some kind of brain surgery that like turned him around. I think he's on the hot seat with Chris Ilitch. Like, hey, you're gonna get fired if you screw this up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we'll move to the next situation that the Red Wings face, which is naming captains. So today, Jeff Blashill was asked about the captain situation. He says they have come to a conclusion. He just wants to circle back with the team to make sure it's exactly what they want to do, and that he'll tell us when he wants to tell us, which means that we'll probably know tomorrow what the captain situation is going to be like. What'll be interesting is it was announced that Henrik Zetterberg is going to do the ceremonial puck drop
on cry.
Opening night. Yeah, we're going to cry, apparently, that our 75-year-old retiring captain, as Montreal fans like to say, we apparently just can do nothing but cry over him.
Said Montreal fan, not all.
90% of oh my God. At least 5 Montreal fans from tonight alone.
Those idiots, those special Montreal fans.
Now I'm going to use it as all because my cousin's a Montreal fan and I talk shit to him all the time, so I'm lumping him in there with them.
Yeah, okay. So the dumb ones I talked to today and Ryan's cousin. So Henrik Zetterberg is going to be do the ceremonial puck drop, and how awesome would it be if he could pass the C on to Larkin on night 1?
I get chills.
I like it.
I like it. I love it, but it won't happen.
No. Go back to that. I like the way you think.
Jesus.
Here's the other thing, though. Think if we go with all A's this year, and then next season, Yzerman becomes the GM, and on game 1, Yzerman gives Larkin the captain.
I don't think either of those are going to happen. I think
you just figured out how to talk dirty to him.
It's like I could work a Red Wings phone sex hotline. Steve Yzerman slowly hands the jersey with the C over to Dylan Larkin. So I think. Well, what do you think they're going to name, Tyler?
I don't think they're going to name a captain tomorrow. Now, like I said, I could be wrong, but I think if they were going to name the captain, they would have done it, around the time that Montreal named Weber the captain. And, around that time, I think they would have done that. Otherwise, I think...
Was that like yesterday?
Well, I guess they could technically still do it tomorrow and then still have a day to, have it all seep in.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think Larkin knows he's going to be the next captain. I think he knows.
He's playing the Clueless game right now.
Yeah, now, is that why he took less, you think?
No, well... No, I think he got his contract is what he deserves. If you mean less term, I think he took less term because, he even said before the season, I want a contract that is fair for me, but that also doesn't handicap the team in the long run, knowing the position the team is in. The kid's smart. He's unbelievably smart. So,
of course he is. He went to Michigan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I think that he knows, he's been told, he's worked with Zetterberg. Zetterberg has said as much that, hey, Larkin's got the captain qualities. They've done everything short of saying Larkin's your next captain. Yeah. So he knows, and he's worked his ass off to get to it. He's done stuff every single day. He holds the youth camps. You listen to him mic'd up on the ice. It's amazing. I hate these people online that are saying he's too young. He hasn't done anything to earn it.
Let him play. Taves got it early.
Where's the fucking comment earlier today made to you about him?
Someone said he needs to play. Maybe in 4 years he can have it, they said. That'll put him 8 years in the league. Like, what is wrong?
Can I ask you something, Greg? Why is it that some Red Wings fans are stuck in the past?
No, I don't know. Glory days.
This is the quote of the day, and this tops even the stupidity of the Habs fans. And this dude saying to Helene St. James, talking about the captaincy, Larkin isn't captain material. He soft, and until he can take a hit like a man, he will be a pussy.
What?
Yeah, that's a
real life quote.
Larkin can't be captain because he's soft and can't take a hit. Even though Larkin fought, like, within the past 4 years, 3 times and beat everyone's ass that he fought?
Mm-hmm. Throws his body in there. He's in the middle of every scrap.
There was a huge hit he took in front of the net against Buffalo. Now, I don't know if y'all will remember this, but this was in his rookie year. They were in Buffalo. They were wearing the red jerseys, and he got, like, I don't know if he got punched in front of the net or if a stick came up, or I don't know if he got in a fight or what it was, but then he had a dime to Zetterberg on, like, the game-winning goal, and he had, like, a tooth knocked out, and, like, he had, like, gauze up his nose and shit. You guys remember that?
Not like you do.
Yeah, I've got a picture of it, and then he like chipped his tooth, and there's a picture of him smiling. Yeah, smiling at the camera with a chipped tooth and, like, gauze in his nose.
Yeah, he had, like,
I've got one better though, Ryan.
Yeah,
I've got a better quote for you, Ryan. It beats that one. I wouldn't have a problem if the Detroit Red Wings made Jonathan Ericsson the captain for now. Not sure if Larkin is ready.
Oh, God. Are you serious?
that was the thing. Yep.
That can't be real
Red
life.
Wings fans hate Jonathan Ericsson. I bet you there's teammates in that locker room that can't stand Jonathan Ericsson.
Where's Tess right now? We need to bring her on right now.
How
Big
about,
E
like,
with the C.
guys, how about, like, Joe Hicketts and Philip Hronek? What the hell do you think they think? This stiff made the team over me?
Why do we gotta make me angry talking about Jonathan Ericsson like this?
Oh, God, he is so
I thought it was
bad.
hilarious.
That's just awful.
Guys, our next podcast, so we're going to do one next week where we recap game one. Oh, we'll have, 1 or 2 games by then?
They've got a couple days off in between, so we'll probably be at 2 games by that point.
Yeah, they play LA on Sunday or Saturday? Sunday, right?
So I think we'll also do, like, a bad tweet session because, God, I'm going to grab...
Dude, you better you better have a fucking giant file built up after just today.
I'm now to the point where I purposely post stuff on Facebook to bring out the dumb people. Like today, I posted the stats, some goalie stats. I'm like, hey, there's a goalie available that's got a 91.5% save percentage and a 2.3 goals against average. Should we pick him up? And them not knowing it was Jimmy Howard's stats seemed, like, impressed. And where one of the other threads are like, Jimmy Howard is the worst goalie alive. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Geez.
So I don't
know. Is you need to create, in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, they have the dude walk around saying, "Bring out your dead."
Yeah.
You need to create a meme of "Bring out your dumb."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We bring out your dumb tweet comment thread.
I've been thinking about different segments we can run on the podcast, which I think would do real well. But I believe our next endeavor, and I'm putting feelers out there now for it, but I would like to do a live show. So for you guys listening, if you could do me a favor, if you would like to be on an episode of the Winged Octopus podcast, if you would like to be on an episode of the Grind Line podcast, do me a favor and tweet at us. We're going to get it set up. I've got a bunch of things to figure out how to do it. but we're gonna get
I
it
know
set
how
up
to do it actually.
Whoa.
We're gonna. Oh, hold on. Back off. We got hot shit coming through. We're going to do a live episode, I think, where you guys can come on. And because Detroit Sport Radio refuses to talk about hockey, we're going to do the hockey portion of Detroit Sports Radio, basically, since they refuse to. So we're going to
get his freaking Wojo, and he's on too late, so I never get to hear him.
Yeah, so I think we're going to do a live show. I'd like to get a guest on for the live show, but working with their schedules is super hard. So we're going to do that. Just send us a tweet at Grindline Pod. If you don't follow us yet on Twitter too, follow us at Grindline Pod and just drop us a tweet to let us know you'd be interested in doing a live show. But do you guys have any final thoughts preseason wise going into the first game in a couple days? Tyler.
Final thoughts. I mean, I hope the first line does well. I hope Larkin starts to stack up well against, first line talent that he's going to see. I mean, like the Blue Jackets are going to give him their first D pair and probably the first line. So he's going to see a lot of attention right away. And I want to see how he fights through that.
I think Larkin will be fine. I'm most intrigued to see how the back end does against a high-powered offense that Columbus can provide. It helps us a little bit.
Too.
Seth Jones isn't going to be around, but I'm just most intrigued to see how Cholowski, for one, handles the pressure, how Rasmussen looks out there, and just see how long it takes these guys to get their feet under them and kind of make themselves at home. So it's going to be rough, but I'm excited.
See, I don't think it's going to be as bad. I think it'll start out good. And then I think once we get closer to November and stuff like that, I think they'll start to fall off a little bit because of how many young guys we have, and they're getting towards a lot of games and stuff like that, especially in the NHL where you're playing back to backs on certain nights and stuff like that. I think what intrigues me the most is the power play. How is the power play going to look against a team like Columbus where they have a decent penalty kill? And, that's a legit team. They went to the playoffs last year. They got they're well coached. I mean, depending on how much you like Torts. And they have a good goaltender as well. So it'll be interesting to see if some of our young guys, Mantha, Larkin, Athanasiou, can score on a good goaltender like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you got to think, too, Bob's also working for a contract. So, Yeah, he's going to be a free agent coming up at the end of the season if they don't get him re-signed.
Yeah, Bob and the Birdman are going to be scary on Thursday.
Yeah, so my prediction for Thursday is 3-2 Columbus, Panarin with the game-winning goal. But I think we're going to put up a hell of a fight, and that's what I'm most looking forward to this season is just the fight that those kids are going to put up every night. Even if they don't win, I think they're going to make it entertaining. They're not going to lay down and lose games. So,
which is what you want as a fan.
What's disheartening, though, is the first score prediction you have is a 1-goal loss.
I mean, it's
a 1-goal game right out the gate.
That's what I got. Hey, that's how I'm going to earn my points. All right.
So you're going.
I don't have any. Huh?
You're going with a 3-2 with Panarin with the winner. No. Did you lose me?
I froze for a second. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. So I said you're going 3-2 with the Panarin with the winner, huh?
3-2 Columbus, Panarin with the winner, and only because in my fantasy hockey I don't have any players from Columbus or Detroit. So, no. What's my opening week look like? Who plays? The only players I have on Wednesday are Kadri, Frederik Andersen, and Mike Smith. The only players I have, dude. My fantasy lineup is stacked. That's all I got to say.
So is mine.
The people I did fantasy.
Everybody's fantasy hockey lineup is stacked.
The people I do fantasy hockey with have no idea what they're doing. I got McDavid and Stamkos and Ehlers and Wheeler and Draisaitl.
Are you playing with children?
And Rasmus Dahlin and Ivan Provorov. And my fantasy is stacked.
Yeah, well, we can do a show on fantasy at some other point in time. Right now, we're talking about Thursday night in the Detroit Red Wings. What do you guys think of opening night and Zetterberg, dropping, the ceremonial puck? You think it's a little soon, or what do you guys think about that?
I think it's a perfect fit for him. It sucks.
Perfect.
because of how things worked out. But you know damn well that crowd is going to embrace him to the fullest. I'm going to be there. Greg, are you going to be there?
No, maybe. No, but I might get last minute tickets on StubHub. Maybe.
Yes. Well, let me know. But I know I'm going to get emotional. I was emotional for the games at the Joe and everything else. So I'm just a giant.
Yeah.
Crying.
We're all going to be grown men crying.
Yep.
But
and I'm going to be a drunk man crying.
I wonder what LCA is going to look like seats wise and attendance wise.
It'll be. It should be full. First game should be full.
It'll be better than last year because after the puck drop last year, people were in their seats, but then they started going exploring. Everyone's had a year to get LCA under their belts, so I think you'll actually see, as long as the game doesn't get out of hand, there's going to be butts in seats, and that place is going to be loud.
Hopefully that's the case, because I don't think obviously, like towards the end of the season, we started to see some more crowds and people there, and it was loud, even though the team was going absolutely nowhere. That too, but anyways, I think Greg wants me to take us out, so I guess we'll do that.
Take us out, Tyler.
You guys have any final thoughts?
No, you can follow me online at Bringing the Wing unless you are a Habs fan. Then get the fuck off my timeline.
Oh, man. You can follow me. This is Ryan at RDRyan33. My prediction, by the way, is 4-2 Wings with an empty netter late.
I like it. The fans are on your side. You can follow me on Twitter at SealDog91. My prediction is 4-1 Red Wings with an empty net. Athanasiou sealing it with a hat trick empty net goal. I like it.
Jesus. Hey, at least you remembered your Twitter handle today.
Are you sure did you say that right? I was actually getting ready to ask about that.
And you can follow the Grindline podcast on Twitter at GrindlinePod. You can also find our shows on iTunes, Google Play. You can also find us on Stitcher and
Spotify.
And Spotify and Podbean.
Yep.
So for Greg and Ryan, I'm Tyler. Stay classy, Hockey Town, and go Wings. Beat the Jackets. Baby.
Hockey's back.
All right.
Good job, guys.
All right, I'm going to bed.
All right, see you guys.
See you, boys.
Later.